SOFI update here on the 8th. So we just hit that gap fill we've been waiting for forever, such a long time. This gap happened back in March, and we tried so many different times. We never came all the way there. We finally hit it today. What does that mean? This is a spot that you want to be selling into. Supply zone right there. You want to be selling into this zone. Because we just filled that gap and it's a spot where sellers are going to step in. So could it go a little bit higher? Sure, it can go a little bit higher. If we go back here and look at this gap over here, this gap happened, but it's right here. The gap is at 857. So the gap is filled. I'm not sure how much higher it's going to go. It made 5 waves. From the bottom, it made 5 waves as well. I've showed you. But this is A, this is B, and then this is C. So it could go higher, but it could also just start selling off from here. Let's look at smaller time frames. So you might get a little bit higher here. If you look at this smaller time frame, you might get something like that. But after that, again, it's coming back down here to this demand zone between 757 and 790, and this gap fill at 786. It's not going to be going very much higher. So that is an alert. I would probably be selling covered calls here on shorter time frames, potentially puts, but I mean the IVs will be getting higher here closer to earnings. But overall, still looking for this to play out. So back down here and then up after earnings, or into earnings, one of the two. So when the market sells off next, look for this box 757 to 790. I don't think we're coming all the way down here to 750. I think this is probably the right area. You can see here the parallel line. So maybe by the 18th, we're back down here and then head up here into earnings. So that's just your update right there. Fill the gap. The only other gap I see to the upside is up here at 950. There might be one up here, but really the only main one left is at 950, and that could be filled all the way. That could be filled after earnings. Remember, we're going to 9 to 10 bucks. So 9 to 10 bucks could fill both of these gaps. Both of those gaps were created on the down move. We're now filling them, and now we have a bunch of gaps to the downside. So these gaps down here are likely to fill afterwards. And if I say 550, everyone's going to tell me that the fundamentals are strong. There's no way it's going to 550. And I agree, the fundamentals are strong. The company is doing great. But you got to remember, this stock can just sell off for no reason. Back here in July, we had the crash down here. That was a pretty big move, and that's what I'm expecting down here. If it's going to fill these gaps, it's going to be a big move down in the overall market. So at the most, I could see this taking all the way through December, but I really don't see it. I think that it's going to happen sometime in November, start moving down. So fundamentals do matter long term, but short term, if a market pulls back, this can easily just sell off for no reason down here to 550. So we could have great earnings and still come down here. In August, let's see where IWM was. IWM in August, it hit 196. We're at 217 right now. If IWM comes down here to monthly demand at 182, at the very least, could come down here to these gap fills, then SOFI is almost 100% going to go down to 550 and fill that gap. So just watch out for that. Keep it in mind. I'm not saying you need to sell everything up here. I'm saying that you might want to look into hedging. I think it's idiotic to sell everything and then expect to come down here to 550. Even if I'm right, you're risking a lot. Because if I'm wrong, then you're risking a lot of upside. I don't think I'm going to be wrong, but if I am wrong, then you're screwed because now you sold your whole position. So I'm not recommending selling up here. I'm saying hedging, maybe sell your swing position, but I wouldn't sell your whole position up here. Sell your options, whatever. But just be prepared. Coming down to 550 shouldn't be a shock to you. I've said it over and over. So we'll see what happens. That's my thoughts on it right now. We just filled that gap. It's already backing off a little bit from that gap fill. And your next demand zone is down here at 757 to 790. So do not be surprised if this sells off like 6-7% in the next 10 days. So that's it for this update. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe, become a member of the channel if you want. It's $3 a month if you think my content helps you out with your trading on any of the stocks. You can request stocks. I do member-only videos. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Leave me a comment, like, subscribe. Talk to you in the next video.